Little birdie tells me that you're planning on stepping back from some of your duties at North Mid and that we should thank you via a video message. I can't believe it's true, but I'm happy to play along with the charade.
What are we going to do?
Well, are we supposed to do this video for Richard and Susie? Yeah. Well, let's just get it done quickly.
Alright, okay.
Go on,
what sort of thing, I mean, have they done much?
So I guess this is the end of an era for North Mid.
Wow.
Wow.
My God, I can't believe you're finally hanging up your boots.
Wow, I can't believe you guys are retiring.
Oh, Susie and Rich, where do we start?
Maybe with a massive thank you for taking North Middlesex Cricket Club on the most incredible journey.
You've been such a huge part of North Middlesex Cricket Club and such a huge part of my experience at the club.
What you have done over the last 30 years for the club and for all the boys and girls who play at the club is quite phenomenal.
What an inspiring and committed and selfless couple you've been.
For me, Sue and Richard embody all that is good about North Mid.
I mean, you guys really are like the fabric of what community sport is all about.
Rich and Susie Nick, two people that encapsulate everything that is amazing about the Mid.
Pillars of everything that North Mid stands for.
I'm just taking a quick break from this absolutely delicious pizza that I'm eating in Brussels at the moment, to be fair. But yeah, you guys have both been absolute ever-present in my time at North Mid.
I remember when I first met Richard, he was someone who was always at the club. He was always at junior practices, setting up at the start. Still there at every junior practice, even though he's not necessarily taking sessions. Still there on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, watching the first 11 play.
You were always there, the first ones at junior training on a Sunday morning, getting the club kit ready to be sold, setting up the equipment, organising the parents and juniors as they turned up. Always at the centre of everything that was going on and making the club tick.
Always ready to step in and help manage a match. Offering to umpire or score, and they're watching all the important matches.
They always seem to be around the club. They're always willing to make time to have a chat to anyone and help to address whatever problems may have arisen. They always have time to chat. They're always ready to celebrate North Mid's successes, or at whatever level, with a glass of wine.
The fabric of the club, the faces that you always see on a Saturday when you arrive and always say hi to you first.
You're the first person on a Sunday morning and you're always the last to leave.
No job is too big or too small.
All of my memories of North Mid and of cricket in general, to be honest, involve the Nickolls in one way or another.
I think I can safely say that I've known Richard for longer than anyone else in the club, except for Susie, Tom and Will, that is.
We've grown up sort of as a cult on Saturday mornings, every single Saturday, week in, week out. You were there coaching and helping out for all the kids and parents, which then obviously turned into the Sunday mornings.
In 1990, I joined the law firm Richard's Butler, where Richard was already a preeminent partner in the property law group. And on several occasions in the years following, I saw Richard applying the energy and the vision that we all know are his absolute trademarks. So when in the early 2000s, Richard turned up at the club with his two young lads on a Sunday morning, I really couldn't have been happier. I thought this could turn out pretty well, and so it's proved.
My first memories of you both, I suppose, was probably better told by my dad, but him writing an email to Richard asking the club to take on a 4-year-old onto the junior section. North Middlesex and one other were accepting of a 4-year-old and I'm so glad Richard allowed me to join the club at that age, and the journey that you have been along so far in my career and with other people's as well. It's just been amazing to allow us all to have so much fun, and along the way going on to play with you as well in the 5th 11. There's some many memory made there as well.
The whole reason I'm at the club is because of Richard lurking around North London, spotting and trying to tap people up to join.
Must have been 20 odd years ago that started hearing the name Nicoll appear as a young man at North Middlesex Cricket Club. There were vicious rumours of these helpful, diligent, hard-working, well-intentioned people in the cult section, and this was met with a lot of scepticism in the existing senior section of the club. What were the intentions of these people?
I think of a tin pot cricket club that you joined that was pretty average. We had a laugh, but we lost a lot. We won very few, and we didn't develop many good cricketers. And look where we are today. We're the envy of cricket clubs across the country.
And I feel privileged to have been along for the ride as I witnessed Richard and Susie at the core of taking the club from two very distinct parts, a junior section and a senior section, which didn't really talk to each other, and were in effect two separate clubs, to the very impressive integrated club of today.
The legacy that you leave behind, the culture that you've instilled, gives us a great chance of carrying through what you've both built over the decades. You are the club in many ways, and I don't know, if we had a pavilion that was worth naming after someone, or at least someone that that you appreciate, then we'd name it after you. I think. I mean, there's no name more synonymous with the modern day North Middlesex Cricket Club than the Nicoll name.
My earliest memories of Richard are him gently nagging me to do match reports back in the early 2000s. He was polite, encouraging and persistent, very persistent.
I remember turning up, I think the first training session I did with Tom, Richard asked the volunteers, and stupidly I looked semi-interested. Started helping out a little bit, and genuinely 3 weeks later I got a letter through the post saying I was on a Middlesex training course doing my level 1. I had never remembered signing it up. I think stealthily he'd signed me up for something.
Classic Nicoll.
It does seem such a long time ago, or maybe not, that Richard, you were throwing yourself around, scoring runs, taking unbelievable catches, playing for every team in the club. And Susie was the only woman in the end of season dinner. And I owe you a lot of cigarettes, Susie, so sorry about that.
And before I met Kate, I obviously spent a few nights on your sofa, Cloudsley Square, so lots of happy memories from those days.
It was so much fun. I just think of how much fun we've had over the years and how many bottles of wine you might have drunk at the cricket club.
You are really amazing, beautiful, lovely people, and I'm so glad that I got to spend so much time with you over at the Mid.
I am very grateful for you introducing me to the club probably 10 years ago now. Since joining, I've seen you both carry out such an amazing role for the club, giving probably thousands and thousands of hours collectively.
One of my first ever adult games I played with you, Richard, and obviously saw you as the elder statesman of the club and I was put on to umpire, and I really just didn't want to give you out. You were on 49 not out, and it hit your pads, and I said pitched outside off as the reason, and then that caused a massive fight. I think it was Acton or Indian Gymkhana or something, where I was shouted off the field by 11 frustrated guys. So yeah, you went on to get your 50, and I'm glad I didn't give you out.
As an overseas player coming from Australia, it can often be daunting with a new club and new players, but you guys couldn't have made that transition any smoother. And I've seen how loved and respected you guys are, and I know I'm not alone in sharing that viewpoint as an overseas player.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you for making me feel so welcome last year. It was my first year playing in London, and you guys made me feel like North Mid was my home from the beginning.
I think I was 13 playing my first year of men's cricket, and I've always known you, and from what I've heard, you've never lost your temper, really. I've never seen you lose your temper. You're always very composed, and I remember I don't know which team we were playing, but I went into bat. I think you were batting with me. It was me and you, and I hit the ball, and it went to the boundary, and there was the flag boundaries, not the ropes, and so the fielder turned around and did that, and so I thought, okay, great, it's 4 runs. Then so we started walking back to our mark, and then the guy just throws the ball in, the bowler runs me out, and appeals to say it's out. And I think someone gave it out. I think their umpire gave it out, and we were like, what are you doing? And we were going nuts, like, this is crazy. More times it was the other guys in our team that were going mad. But Rich, I've never seen you lose your temper. But on that day, I just remember I turned around, I was like, Rich, and all I see, you grabbed your bat and you just smashed the stumps down and just walked off. And I thought, yes, okay, Rich has got my back.
And of course there's the success in producing players for Middlesex. But these are all symptoms of what Richard and Susie have done in building our club.
Susie and Richard, many thank yous.
Both of your endless hours put towards the club and trying to make it better is just absolutely phenomenal. And to allow all the current seniors and juniors to love the club as what it is now, and all the ex seniors and juniors as well. I'm sure they'll absolutely be so thankful for all the work you've put in, for sure.
People like yourselves and the contribution to the club is what makes a club feel like a club.
Richard, Alan Coleman, Middlesex Director of Cricket here. I just wanted to drop you a quick note to say thank you for all that you've done, not only for the people of North Middlesex Cricket Club, but the wider Middlesex cricketing community. Some wonderful people have come through the North Middlesex system as a result of the work that you've put in, and some of whom have obviously gone on to represent us at all levels. We're eternally grateful for all that you've done.
Hi Richard and Susie, it's Rory Coots here from Middlesex Cricket. It's just a short message to say congratulations on what's been an amazing effort in all the years you've given to North Mid, right from back at the beginning, and getting to know you guys when you started to go through Club Mark and all the youth stuff, and latterly through all the young players that have come through North Mid. It's been amazing to watch from afar the impact that you've both had, and I'm sure that the legacy that you'll leave for many years to come. So congratulations, enjoy some time to yourselves, and all the best for the future.
There were many innovations along the way that now seem obvious. Winter season coaching, an academy, a development team competition to bridge the gap between juniors and seniors, now called the MDL. A set of standardised coaching objectives, a deliberate policy of including juniors when selecting senior teams, and so on.
Thank you very much for providing us the services and education you did for us, Afghans. I hope you all the best. Thank you very much.
I think jointly with Susie, sort of like, I don't know, the best sort of sniffer of bullshit that I've ever come across. A tremendous supporter of causes far more important than ours, of Afghanistan, of Rwanda.
And the feeling around the club, not just the success on the pitch, but the atmosphere, the club culture, the professionals we've got who not only play for Middlesex but look out for everybody else at the club.
and the commitment to including as many kids as possible, getting them to play as much cricket as possible, giving them the opportunities is what makes this so special. And Richard and Susie have been at the heart of driving that.
Richard, we've chatted about everything from cricket to travel to law and everything in between. So thank you for that, and thank you again for making me feel so welcome.
I also want to say thank you personally for providing me a great environment for me to play Colts cricket when I was younger. Obviously you guys, Tom and Will, have been a big part and a big reason why I joined North Mid, why I'm still at North Mid. What you guys have done for the club over the years has been remarkable. Obviously a big factor in the Colts setup and how well we did then and how it's translated into the senior setup and the club that we have. And it's really started from what you guys did.
Over the past 15 years and more, he's been deeply involved in the sorting out of the club's complicated ownership and lease arrangements in relation to our ground. And Richard has been also a key member of the committee, involved in every important initiative that the club has embarked on over the years.
Over nearly 20 years now. You've been an incredible example to me professionally and personally, and your kindness will never be forgotten. And it's so rewarding now to see my own kids, who'd have thought, now enjoying the fruits of all your hard work.
You've both played a massive role in making the club what it is today, and helping Ben and Francesca develop their love of cricket and the mid that they have today.
I still remember William's first day at the club, which must be well over 25 years ago. And he immediately felt the enthusiasm and the general involvement of everybody.
Thank you for helping my children get into cricket and developing the skills of Viv and Austin. Thank you for getting Claire an official role with the club too, which means that I can now spend more time down there.
And as a side observation, my son Hugh, who's played in various different teams, going through county age group and Leeds University, some Yorkshire teams, a couple of New Zealand teams, he still says there is nothing like playing for the mid.
I think it goes without saying how much you've contributed over the years and how an amazing place you've made it. I know that I wouldn't be able to say it's my favourite club in the world without all the stuff you've done.
Now, I always thought he was good enough to play in the firsts, but Richard never chose to do so. And indeed, he made his principal mark playing for the team that we came to call the Mighty Fourth, who won promotion year after year and helped in large measure by Richard scoring, at least I think every year, at least one century for them.
Richard, so many days, amazing days we've had on the playing field. The Richard Nicoll, Richard Verity drop catch day, that was just amazing. That'll live on in my memory forever. I still tell people about that. I'll never forget our two huge partnerships on the third square there. And your relentless batting, saving the team on so many occasions.
Richard, especially on the pitch, playing my first adult matches in the fours and fives with you and watching at the other end as you scored millions of runs, and then when it was my turn to umpire, doing my best not to give you out LBW with that big front dog.
Watching, Gray Nicks whip it through the leg side is where I picked up many of my tips over the years. An absolute forefather of the leg glance.
Richard running me out in the final overs of a match, probably threes, in front of the home crowd. And to be fair, I was sat on my heels. We had a few wickets in hand. So possibly I was culpable too.
When I first started out in the fives, you were there still playing, captaining as well from time to time, and that was so important for me, having someone like that from North Mid, being that role model at that time.
Richard put in place the coaching and the support structures that have seen our junior section become admired throughout Middlesex and well beyond, actually. It's fair to say that he created the conditions that enabled Ethan and Joe and Luke and Max to develop their talents and go on to become county players.
The brains, the strategy, the energy, the wherewithal, alongside Susie behind a junior section that I guess has sort of safeguarded our club for generations, that has improved lives, has provided a million friendships, and I think has also turned this place from a bit of a laughing stock into the envy of the area, and also into a second home for a lot of people.
You've also had a huge impact on the younger members of the club, many of which have gone on to play adult cricket, and I've been lucky enough to captain quite a few of the lads in the second team where we won a hat-trick of Premier League titles. So certainly it's made my job a bit easier having those young boys come through with your mentorship.
All the coaching that you gave me over the years, and just always being there, taking an interest, and just having it, like, genuinely caring about myself and everyone else, and how we got on Saturdays or Colts games, and the countless amount of games that we played.
Richard did a fantastic job in handing me the poison chalice that is the minis, but I suspect he thought he would be able to step back fully from doing that over, a couple of seasons, but that's not been the case. I managed to drag him into helping me with various wild routines and drills for the kids, which hopefully he's sticking doing it because it's fun.
Richard, thank you so much for everything you did in terms of coaching last year. You really did lend a hand when there was anything wrong, and you were always there to give some advice and help out, so thank you very much.
There aren't many clubs where the Colts coordinator, or where the children of the Colts coordinator are in their mid-30s. I mean, the 2008 Nationals is still a genuine life highlight for myself and for a fair few others. Steve and Mark were the coaches, and we were a great bunch, but that was only possible for the foundations that you'd both put in place by then.
Winning the Gubby Allen at Lords in 2005, at the end of that incredible Ashes summer. Going on to win the National Club Championships in 2008 in Oakham. What an incredible week that was. Winning the Premier League in 2019. And what was really special about that is your own Tom and Dan as were at the crease, two former Colts. And probably the funniest was being held at gunpoint in Rwanda. Do you remember that?
Yeah, some incredible memories all the way through from Colts, winning the Gubby Allen at under 10s and the national championship.
Winning the league with Richard in the fours, the polo shirt, I've still got it still fits. So it must have been massive 12 years ago, whenever it was.
Some of my favourite memories are the first sort of T20 Cup wins and the photos that we've got of yourselves, along with people like John Mundy, Dick Hersey, and the wider support. Really are my favourite favourite images of and memories of the times at the club, because it was that wider collegiate feel which has made the place so special over the years.
Susie, so lovely, warm, friendly and caring, such a good friend.
Susie, the sort of accidental treasurer, sort of debt collector, common sense supremo, barbecuer, club heartbeats.
Susie, I tend to get told off by Susie. The first one was the fixture strikes. Yeah, I got my sheet of paper, the first one I'd ever done. I went around all the clubs, got all the fixtures written down, and I went, Susie, there you go, this is easy, I've done it. And she went, well, you haven't read it properly, you've got all the dates wrong, go back and do it again.
And Susie as well, so much support off the pitch, countless references and all those kind of things. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for me, for everyone at the club.
Susie?
Yeah?
Barbecue queen.
No,
Do you know
fair
what, in
point.
the early days,
Yeah.
remember her flipping her burgers? She was all
No,
right.
that's good, yeah.
She's all right.
They're always
She's
there.
held those barbecues.
Yeah.
Bookkeeper, I tell you what, think
Good.
about it.
Well, you'd know.
Shit. I mean, people think I know my numbers, but
Susie's good.
she's the power behind it.
Barbecue and numbers.
Barbecue
no, that's good. No,
bookkeeping.
you're right. That's integral, I would say.
My abiding memories are of what fun it's been. Susie always at the end of a phone or email dealing with fixture lists, team lists, and the admin involved in running a club. So really the engine room of the operation.
Susie, I think I called you Mary the first time I met you, but you let that slide and simply welcomed me to the club with open arms. You made me, like so many other members, feel at home, even when we didn't know many faces starting off.
And Susie has been there through and through it all. Tommy Nick and everything that he brought to the club was only there because Susie and Richard were behind him.
First interactions would have been on various databases to do with websites, pitch bookings. Susie and I had lots of fun going back and forth on both of those matters. And then this led on to things such as committee meetings. And over the years, what could have been very drab, dry, boring occasions were always punctuated with eye roll from Susie at some of the things others have said, usually myself, or Richard's, great, that's really interesting, let's move on, after a long rambling statement, again probably from myself. Susie, you've always been around, you've been like a mother to Kate and I at the club, whether it's sorting out lunches for Lord's trips or driving us to games, or just always been around for a beer or a crafty fag, or when I've broken a finger, driving me to Ealing Hospital with a shot of Sambuca. So thank you so much for that. It's been an absolute pleasure.
She's spent so many hours watching, encouraging, and being there when they lost or won, and the fact that they understand that you don't win all the time, that you win and you lose. That was something for the kids that was a lesson they had to learn, and which has held them in very good stead in later life.
Richard, Susie, I will really miss you both at the club. I'm going to miss my drinking buddies. And Susie, just to say a massive thank you for how welcome you made me when I first turned up at North Mid, especially teaching me to score, although not sure I should be thanking you for that one. But definitely a skill set that I will take with me now that we have Henry, and I'm sure will also be playing cricket if John has anything to do with it.
And Susie, you are, ever present. You're such an amazing person. You're always there supporting whichever North Mid team is playing, helping out in whatever way you can. And the little things, you'd always ask me how I'm doing, how is family, and those little things, you always made me feel welcome at the club, and I really, really appreciate you for that. Honestly, you're such a inspiration. Oh, the lights have gone off.
My year nines will never let me forget you taking them fishing for half an hour and telling them just how bad my bowling was.
If you're ever planning a trip out to New Zealand, make sure you get in touch. I'll get the whole whānau out to show you around and get you some proper fishing spots, Richie. None of this fly fishing carry on, mate. We'll get you hanging out the back of Bowsey's jet ski, mate.
Enjoy the fishing, whatever it is you're doing.
Come down to see us in Ash Park sometime.
We look forward to having you.
All the best. Have the best retirement from cricket, and we hope to see you down the club for a few beers soon.
And Lords and Twickenham.
100%. We still expect all of the
hospitality.
Yes, 100%. So Sue's looking forward to the next picnic. All the best and lots of love.
I think I just need to say that you must come back and you must hang around the club, because more than anything, we need your full beam headlights for a game of stumps.
Enjoy your retirement, enjoy popping down without the need for a clipboard, a spreadsheet, a summer camp, a medical form, and just enjoy relaxing, watching some cricket and having a great time with it.
We can only hope to follow in your footsteps and walk the path that you've created for us.
For me, being able to walk into the ground on a Saturday and see Susie or Richard somewhere on the boundary watching, and know I can wander around and chat as a long-time acquaintance, well, it really is one of life's pleasures.
I wish you guys the absolute best in the next chapter of your life, and I hope for North Mid's sake that you don't stay too far away from the club.
I know it's just a stepping back from your role, so I'm sure we'll keep seeing you down at North Mid. It won't be the same without you. So all the best, thanks.
I just wanted to take this chance to say a huge thank you for everything you've done for North Mid. Richard, for your unflinching commitment to the spirit of cricket, and Susie for the hours and hours of unseen tasks which have been absolutely vital to the success of the club. And then from us personally, thank you so much for the fun, thank you for the opportunities, and for getting Joseph a job. North Mid is really the club that Richard and Susie built. Thank you very much for it.
I was thinking about what to say for this ever since sending out an email asking people for contributions, and I think my overriding takeaway is that everyone who's contributed to this video, and hundreds more, genuinely hundreds more, have indirectly or directly been, I don't know, have had their youth or their adulthood or both made so much more fun, more fulfilled, more worthwhile through essentially your sacrifices.
Richard, Susie, thank you so much for what you've done for the club. Two truly incredible people. I've learnt so much from you both.
A massive thank you to Richard and Susie. We couldn't have done it without you.
By your energy and enthusiasm and ability, you've just set such a standard for the rest of our club to aspire to. It's just impossible to put into words, as I think I've just proved, the immense contribution that you've made to the success of our club. So thank you enormously.
The biggest thank you for the time, effort and energy that you have put into this great cricket club. Everything you see today is down to the work you guys have done behind the scenes, something I'm eternally grateful for. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for North Mid.
Thanks very much for everything you've done. You're both great, we love you a lot, and thanks again. All the best.
Guys, you've been the catalyst of so many wonderful, wonderful friendships.
I just think it's unbelievable what you two have done. The time and energy you've put in behind the scenes without any desire at all to be thanked. And you just get on with it behind the scenes. You are the engine that has made this club what it is today. And it's an incredible club today. You should be so proud of what you've achieved. And we should all be so thankful because we owe you so much.
Yeah, fantastic job. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you to both of you so much.
Massive congratulations for such a long stint and for everything you've done for so many people over so many years.
Thank you really doesn't go far enough for Susie and Rich and what they've done for the club.
Thank you for everything you've done for the club over the last 20 years.
Thanks so much for everything you've done for me, for the club, and I'll miss seeing you around so much.
Thank you for everything that you've given for North Mid, and wishing you both the best in retirement.
Your contributions have just been absolutely outstanding, and I hope now for the both of you, you can certainly take a step back from the club and just relax. And I'm sure, hopefully, we can still see you down on most Saturdays watching the cricket, whether that's the 1s, 2s or 3s. But for now, thank you so much for everything you've done.
Just so much gratitude for everything that you have done for the club. I hope that the coming years give you everything you want, and see you very soon. Yeah, so many thank yous, so much love.
Hey Rich and Susie, just want to say a big thank you for everything that you've done for the club. You two are absolute legends, and the club won't be the same without you. So thank you very much.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart for so many times when after a match, I would stay. I always wanted to chill with the guys, wanted to chill at the club and socialize. But it would get late at night. and I was young. So I recall you guys would always like come over to me. If you were at the club, you'd always come over to me and offer to give me a lift home. And you know, I never asked you, so it wasn't like you were obliged or like you felt bad or anything. It was from the goodness of your hearts that you'd come over and you know, offer a lift. And those, they meant a lot to me, and it meant, you know, that I enjoyed my time at the club so much.
Yeah, thank you very much again for everything you've done. You've been a huge part of my North Mid experience, and I'll cherish that for a long time.
So yeah, I'd just say a huge thank you, really. There's been some great times, and I'm sure there'll be loads ahead, but it won't quite be the same without you both at the helm.
Firstly, a thank you for all of the help and support you gave me, not only as a coach and within the club, but also personally and as a friend.
Thanks for all your help, Richard.
Shut!
You're a big part of why I'm still at the Mid, and I hope we have many more years of fun and friendship. And here's to all your successes, and I'll see you down the Mid.
Thanks for all your work, Susie.
Shut!
Yeah, thank you so much for the wonderful input you've had, and the club is in a significantly better place. There aren't even words to describe how much a better place it is now, thanks to you guys.
But thank you both for everything. It's the club wouldn't be where it is without you.
Bastions of North Middlesex for all my time there, however long it is, 25 years or something.
I feel really lucky and privileged that you've put so much into the club, and it's been great sharing that journey with you. So many thanks.
Sue and Richard, I salute you. We have shared some great times together, and all at North Mid have a great deal to thank you for. Cheers, guys.
A quick don of the cap to you both, and a massive cheers for all of the incredible work that you've done at our incredible cricket club. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm definitely not envious of whoever is stepping into your guys' shoes. All the best.
But as uncomfortable as this attention will be, and I know this isn't your kind of thing, please consider it a token of our club's enormous gratitude, even if it is only a tiny fraction of what you've done for us.